Have you ever sat quietly in your living room and wondered why your grown children seem perfectly comfortable keeping their own separate home, far from yours? Many people in their 70s and 80s carry a quiet, aching assumption that family is supposed to stay close, share walls, share meals, share space. And when that doesn't happen, something inside whispers, maybe I'm the problem. If that thought has ever crossed your mind, I want you to stop right there. Because today we are going to completely change the way you see this situation. I'm going to walk you through 6 deep, research-backed reasons why your adult children prefer to live separately from you. And the last reason? Most people never see it coming. But once you do, it will genuinely shift something in your heart. Let's get into it. Reason number 1. Your bodies are running on completely different clocks. This first reason is rooted in pure biology, and it has nothing to do with love or preference. As we move through our 60s, 70s, and beyond, our internal body clock, what scientists call our circadian rhythm, gradually shifts. We naturally feel drowsy earlier in the evening and alert much earlier in the morning. It's not a quirk. It's your healthy, aging body doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Your children, meanwhile, are often fighting the opposite battle. Late work deadlines, midnight feedings, early school runs. Their bodies are tuned to a completely different schedule. When those two rhythms collide under one roof, neither person sleeps well, and nobody wins. Take Gerald, a 72-year-old retired postal worker who moved in with his daughter Lisa after his apartment lease ended. Gerald had spent 30 years waking before sunrise, and retirement hadn't changed that. Every morning at 4:45, he was up, shuffling to the kitchen, boiling water, watching the early news at low volume. Lisa, a nurse working evening shifts, rarely fell asleep before 1 a.m. Within 3 weeks, both of them were sleep-deprived, irritable, and quietly miserable. Gerald felt guilty for simply existing in the morning. Lisa felt terrible for resenting her own father. Neither was wrong. Their bodies were just running on clocks that had no business sharing the same kitchen. Once Gerald moved into a nearby senior apartment, he reclaimed his mornings completely, and Lisa finally got her sleep back. They have breakfast together every Saturday, and both of them actually enjoy it now. Your right to rise with the sun is not a burden to manage. It is a beautiful part of who you are. Reason number 2, they come home emotionally empty, and that's not about you. The modern work environment is relentless. Your adult children spend their days absorbing digital noise, managing difficult people, making high-stakes decisions, and commuting through gridlock. By the time they walk through their front door, their emotional tank is sitting close to zero. You, on the other hand, may have enjoyed a calm and quieter day, which naturally puts you in the mood for connection, conversation, and catching up. And when your child offers only a flat greeting before disappearing to their room, it can feel like a door closing in your face. But here's what's actually happening. Their nervous system is in recovery mode. They are not withdrawing from you. They are retreating from the overwhelming stimulation of the day. Patricia, a 77-year-old retired florist, experienced this firsthand when she spent 4 months living with her son David, a high school principal. Patricia's days were gentle and lovely, tending her potted herbs on the balcony, calling old friends, watching her favorite cooking programs. By 5 p.m., she was bright, talkative, and ready to share every detail of her day. David, who had spent 8 hours managing staff conflicts, anxious parents, and a building full of teenagers, came home completely hollowed out. Patricia's warm, eager greeting, which came from pure love, felt to David's exhausted brain like one more demand he had no energy left to meet. He started dreading the drive home. Patricia started wondering what she'd done wrong. When Patricia returned to her own apartment, David began calling her every evening during his commute. Relaxed, unhurried, genuinely happy to talk. The relationship didn't suffer from the distance. It finally had room to breathe. When you maintain your own home, you become the highlight of their week, not an unintentional source of pressure at the end of a hard day. Reason number 3, living together accidentally turns them into your caregiver. Here's something few people talk about honestly. The moment an aging parent moves into a child's home, even a completely healthy, independent, capable parent, something shifts in the child's nervous system. They start listening for sounds in the night. They count the minutes when you're in the bathroom. They hold their breath when they hear you cough. This is not paranoia. This is love, expressing itself as chronic, low-level anxiety. And it is absolutely exhausting to live inside that state every single day. Frank, a 79-year-old former carpenter, was still the kind of man who built his own furniture and refused to ask for help carrying groceries. When his wife passed, his daughter Karen insisted he move into her spare room, just temporarily, just to make sure he was okay. Frank agreed, expecting a smooth transition, but within weeks he noticed Karen flinching every time he climbed the porch steps. She began sleeping with her bedroom door open so she could hear him in the night. She quietly removed the small rug in the hallway without explanation. Frank felt monitored. Karen felt consumed. Neither could fully relax. When Frank moved into a well-regarded independent living community 20 minutes away, Karen told him she cried on the drive home. Not from sadness, but from relief. Relief that she could simply be his daughter again, not his silent overnight nurse. When you choose independence, you are not leaving your family. You are freeing them to simply love you, without the psychological weight of being your unpaid, unofficial guardian. If today's video is resonating with you, leave a comment below. I genuinely read everyone, and your presence here keeps this channel going. Subscribe if you haven't yet so you never miss what's coming next. Before we continue, something I think is genuinely worth knowing about, especially for those of us navigating the changes that come with aging. One thing that quietly affects confidence, connection, and even mental sharpness more than most people expect is hearing health. When hearing starts to decline, even subtly, it changes how engaged you feel in conversations and how present you are with the people you love. Something called Autofort has been getting a lot of attention lately as a natural supplement designed to support healthy hearing and cognitive clarity as we age. I've left the link in the description and comment box below if you'd like to look into it. It's simply worth knowing about. Now let's keep going. Reason number 4, you have completely different definitions of comfortable. As we age, our bodies run cooler, our joints ache in the cold, and we find genuine comfort in being surrounded by cherished objects, familiar textures, and the photographs of a life richly lived. Your home tells your story. Young families trend in the opposite direction. Cooler rooms, minimal clutter, clean walls. When these two visions collide, someone always compromises too much. Dorothy, a 80-year-old retired librarian, moved in with her son Craig and his young family. Dorothy kept her thermostat at 76 degrees and had boxes of beloved books and framed portraits she wanted displayed throughout the house. Craig's family preferred the home cool and uncluttered, a way to manage the chaos of raising 3 kids. Dorothy spent her days in a cardigan, feeling like a guest in a cold, bare house that held none of her history. Craig felt quietly suffocated by the sudden transformation of his living space. When Dorothy moved into her own warm, book-lined apartment, her mood lifted almost immediately. Her joint pain eased. She slept better. She told her son it felt like coming home to herself. Your living space is an extension of your identity. You have earned the right to design it entirely around your own comfort. Reason number 5, old parenting habits have a long memory. Decades of raising children leave deep grooves in our instincts. Watching your adult child manage money, parent your grandchildren, or run their household stirs something powerful in you. An almost involuntary urge to guide, to help, to improve. Raymond, a 71-year-old retired geography teacher, moved in temporarily with his son Marcus and Marcus's young family. Raymond was sharp, experienced, and genuinely wanted to help. He suggested better budgeting habits at dinner. He quietly corrected Marcus's parenting tone in front of the children. Every comment came from love, but Marcus began to feel like a student in his own home, second-guessing his decisions, reverting to old insecurities, pulling away from his father to protect his own confidence. When Raymond moved into his own place nearby, the defensiveness dissolved almost overnight. Marcus started calling his father specifically to ask for advice. The same wisdom that had caused friction when it was volunteered daily became something Marcus actively sought out, because now it was his choice to ask. Distance transforms a parent into a counselor. and that is a far more meaningful role. Reason number 6, they want you to actually live, not just exist in their orbit. This is the reason that surprises people most. Sometimes your children encourage separate living, not because they want less of you, but because they want more for you. Sylvia, a 74-year-old former administrative manager, was quietly devastated when her daughter suggested she look at a nearby independent living community rather than taking the spare bedroom. Sylvia interpreted it as a polite way of being pushed aside. She moved in reluctantly, convinced she'd spend her days invisible and forgotten. Within 7 months, Sylvia had joined a community theater group, started taking Spanish lessons online, and had become the unofficial organizer of a monthly supper club for 12 neighbors. When her daughter came to visit, she barely recognized the version of her mother standing in the doorway. Relaxed, glowing, completely at home in her own life. Her daughter hadn't rejected her. She had simply refused to let her mother shrink. Your later years are not a waiting room. They are a full chapter, with real joy, real discovery, and real living. But only if you step into them. Still here? I love that. Drop a comment and share one thing from today that genuinely landed with you. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so we stay connected. Final thoughts. 6 reasons, 6 truths that have nothing to do with how much your family loves you and everything to do with the real, complicated, beautiful mechanics of modern life. Different biological rhythms, the need for emotional recovery space, the invisible burden of caregiving anxiety, contrasting physical environments, the evolution from parent to trusted advisor, and the hidden, generous desire to see you truly thrive. If you have been carrying the quiet belief that living separately from your children means something is broken, I hope today loosens that grip completely. The space between you and your family is not emptiness. It is where the best version of your relationships grows. Your independence is not a consolation prize. It is the main event. And as you step more fully into that independence, take care of the body that carries you through it. Your hearing, your clarity, your ability to stay sharp and connected to the conversations that matter. All of that deserves attention too. If you haven't already, check out Audifort. The link is in the description and comment box. It's a small investment in making sure you're fully present for every moment still ahead of you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Like this video, if it gave you something real, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one.